NC Pork. Good for the plate, great for the state. Two of the ACC's biggest program names, Florida State and Clemson, are in full-blown crisis. Let's start out with the Tigers. Clemson opened the season ranked number 4 with national championship aspirations and a Heisman hopeful in Cade Klubnik. But after Saturday's 35-24 loss to SMU in a rematch of that 2024 ACC title game, Clemson is now 3-4. Their 5th straight loss to a Power 5 opponent. That's something that hasn't happened at Clemson since I was 2 years old. In 1971, Dabo, guys, he faces the music after the game. He says that he hopes that they've earned credibility and he's begging for patience. But man, I tell you one thing, 18 years in, 2 national titles, 9 ACC crowns. The question now has got to be, Jim, has Dabo's system run out of gas at Clemson?
I mean, Dabo's had tremendous success at Clemson, as we all know. You just said it. Does he deserve to have the opportunity to get this program back on the proper path and continue to grow and build with this program? Yes, he does. He does. He's earned that opportunity to do that. And Dabo has a very good staff. He's made some changes in it. He's got a new defensive coordinator in Tom Allen. They are where Clemson, the difference right now for Clemson is they're not generating enough offense right now. And Tim, you can speak on this much better than I can. They can't run the football. And in this day and time in the game, if you go back and you look across the country right now, being able to run the football has become very popular again in offensive strategy. And if you can't run the ball to some degree, then it's hard to win. If I, as a defensive coach, if I can defend the run and stop the run with 7, then guess what? If I can do it with 6, then I'm going to kick your ass every single time if I can stop the run with 6. If you make me bring that extra 2 guys or that extra guy into the box, then it becomes an issue for me because it opens up those throwing lanes down the field.
Dabo's in a tough spot. He hasn't been in this position at all in his career. He has had an amazing career as a football coach at Clemson, national champions, all that good stuff. And he's earned the right to have an opportunity to fix it. And there's not a doubt in my mind that he will. Jim hit on the thing that I've said for a long time about Clemson football. They lack physicality. They lack physicality in the offensive line where they can run the football. They do a lot of things laterally with the zone game. Again, they don't do very much downhill coming off the football, gap scheme runs, double team runs, really creating some movement, some vertical movement on the line of scrimmage. And I think that that's something that they can get better at. And I'm sure that that's something that'll be looked at. They've just got to be better across the board. They're not playing defense as well as they've played. Jim, it goes back to when I was at North Carolina in the 90s. I mean, holy cow, when you went and played against Clemson defense, I mean, I'm talking about it was straight war. It was warfare. I mean, it was really tough sledding, and I just don't get the sense right now that that's the same mentality in Clemson right now. And but like I said, I don't doubt at all that they'll be able to get this thing turned around. That's the great thing about the portal. You can go get some quick fixes. You can go get some guys. You have some immediate needs. You can go out and fill those immediate needs. And I think they will. But I'm going to tell you what, it doesn't make the Clemson Tiger fans feel any better this year. It's been a tough year for them.
Defensively, as you look at the ACC stats, they're fifth in the league in total defense.
Hmm.
However, they're 13th in the league in total offense.
Right.
So going back to what you're saying with the vertical run game and being able to run the football and take the pressure off Cade Klubnik, that goes back to you got to keep a defense off balance. And I'd have to go back and check at this point in time what they're averaging per game rushing, which I think that would be very interesting to see right now. Well, how about this? How about this, Brew? Clemson's averaging 116.4 yards per game rushing. How about
Hmm.
that?
It would make me think that one of the hottest names in coaching circles right now might not be a head coach, but it could be an assistant coach. And if there's ever been a guy that really was made to help Clemson with just this issue, it would be Sam Pittman, because I think he's one of the greatest offensive line coaches I've ever been around. I was on the staff with him at Arkansas in the first year of the Brett Bielema era down in Fayetteville. And Sam is remarkably well paid and is rested now, ready to take on a challenge again. When you've been a head coach, Brew, how tough is it to want to go back and maybe be a position coach as opposed to getting that opportunity to continue being a head coach?
Well, I have the same admiration for Sam Pittman as you do. I think he's one of the great offensive line coaches in our business. He's great for kids. Kids love him. They love to play for him. They play hard. They play nasty. Those offensive lines he had when he was at Georgia, oh my goodness. You talk about knock some people off the ball. And so, without a doubt, I think Sam Pittman is going to be well sought after, after this season for sure.
I know the offensive line coach for Ed Clemson very well, Matt Luke. We were
Right. And
we
he's
were
and you're dead right, Jim. He's damn good too.
we were together at Duke on David Cutcliffe's staff. He was the head coach. He went to Ole Miss and became the head coach at Ole Miss, and then was the offensive line coach at the University of Georgia for I think at least one national championship, maybe two national championships. If and I may be off there at some point. And then he decided to raise a family for a couple years, and he's been back at Clemson right now. But I'm going to tell you what, you're talking about a ball coach that will get after their ass and coach them hard and chase them all over the field. Well, Matt Luke is the guy. So, I mean, I would, if I became a head coach tomorrow, I would try to hire Matt Luke as my offensive line coach.
Well, I think the offensive line is the key. I've said that to you, Jim, for the last 3 years that we've done this show. I think you begin and end with what you can do in the trenches. And that's one of the keys that people will look at universally when trying to find the winners and the losers in college football. And right now, another team, another program that is really on the outs right now, man, they haven't won an ACC game in over 400 days. We're talking about Brew, your Florida State Seminoles. They lose again over the weekend on the road in that ACC After Dark, a special from Stanford, and 20-13, the final score in that game. Yes, Stanford, they beat Florida State, who is now 3-4 on the campaign, 0-4 in the Atlantic Coast Conference, losers of 9 straight conference games. Over the last 2 years, Mike Norvell only one more ACC win than Bill Belichick. Boom. Here we go with a little rim shot right there. But there was supposedly a sideline shouting match. Man, I tell you, as coaches, you got to hate this kind of crap because everybody comes out with their Pat Welter, Brian Hughes, WRAL. Did you hear what this guy said? Did you hear what that guy said? Now they're talking about the Florida State players mocking Mike Norvell and talking about responding and his use of that word. Man, I got to tell you, when the chips start to fall in a negative way, man, it just seems like sometimes coaches like Mike Norvell can't find a stray ray of sunshine to hit their ass.
It's a tough place to be right now in Tallahassee, Florida. It's a program steeped, absolutely steeped in tradition, winning.
Hmm.
Okay. The quarterback's throwing the ball all over the field. I mean, I see defensively, we're running 11 hats to the football. So many positive things came out of game one. And then since then, it's been, and I knew, Mike, that was a recipe for disaster, that trip to Stanford. I mean, 3 hour time change, going across the country. It's a 10:30 at night start for these kids from Tallahassee, from Florida State, and it just hasn't clicked for them. It hasn't clicked at all, and I'm not sure what's going to fix it at this point. I'm really not. I think everybody's in a little bit of a quandary. I was there 5 years, won a national championship, won 29 games in a row, and it's the program is not in the same place that it's really been for quite some time.
Does Florida State have the money to compete?
You know what? There's a question, and okay, so the AD at Florida State came out today. There's a lot of people expecting Mike Norvell to be let go today. Okay. The AD from Florida State came out and he said that we are going to continue the evaluation of Coach Norvell, and we will make a decision at the end of the season as to whether or not we're going to keep him or not, or let him go. And there's a lot of people questioning, well, was that decision based on not having enough money now to pay him off? Because I believe in his contract, it says that he needs to be paid in within 30 days of his termination.
Florida State's averaging almost 40 points a game. 40 points a game they're averaging. Okay. You should be, last I checked, if you average 40 points a game, Virginia's averaging 40 points a game, and they've got one loss. So somewhere in this, and then as I pull up here, they're giving up 22.6 per game, which in this day and time of offense is not bad. So something is screwed up somewhere, Brew. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I can't pull up the number of penalties or the number of turnovers and that kind of thing. But something's not working there, because with those numbers are pretty damn good.
Last week, the three of us said this is a must win game for the Florida State Seminoles. We said it's a must win game. Okay. Well, they went out in a must win game and they scored 13 points on offense. Okay. They scored against a very, very, I would say a pretty average Stanford football team.
You're
Um,
gracious on
yeah.
that. You're being
Yeah.
very gracious with that.
Exactly, and so I just feel like there's some issues there, and it's going to be tough as they move forward, Mike. Keeping the culture, keeping the morale, keeping these guys. We talk about keeping them on the boat. Okay, we don't want, at this point, they're guys looking to jump off into the ocean, jump off into the water. Okay, they're trying to bail out, and now is really the hardest time as a coach, Jim, is when things ain't going good, and keeping these kids together.
But did you ever think in a million years, guys, that the Clemson Florida State football game, after both of those schools suing the ACC to get more TV money because of them being such a big draw on football, it's kind of reverse karma right here that Clemson and Florida State could be playing the CW game on November 8th. That is mind blowing to me, but it's also a pretty hefty reminder about the fickle mistress that is college football, because you think you're on top of the world one day and you could be right in the outhouse the next.
The December portal is no longer,
No
and
longer.
there's a portal in January.
Right.
Well, I thought that was correct, but that becomes critical in what you're doing as an administration. Mike, you can jump in on this now as an administrator. You know, where are you going to go hire the next guy? Who is better than the guy that I have right now? Who can come in and make an impact on this program and turn us from a 5-7, 6-6. Hell, this day and time, 7-5 is not even good enough. If you, who is the guy that can turn us around, and is he going to be in the playoffs? How can we get into the transfer portal and get our staff and get evaluated? So, from an administrator standpoint, Mike, you got to hire somebody that has a staff that is intact, that they can bring in, and they know what they want to do, and they can go right to work, where you don't have to have that transition period where, hey, I'm Jim Collins, Tim Brewster, hey, good to meet you, I'm the linebacker coach, you're the tight end coach, we don't know each other. You better have your crap together when you take one of these jobs this day and time.
This has been Bold North State Football Daily, an exclusive presentation of the North Carolina Sports Network. Make sure you follow us on social media at the NC Sports Net, and check out our website that is wall-to-wall coverage of North Carolina sports at ncsportsnetwork.com. Our foundational partner is the North Carolina Pork Council, raising the bacon, raising the bar. Telling the stories of the bold North State, this is the North Carolina Sports Network.